day by day. The way of the crypto warriors, can't rely on the bankers, no way.
Roadrunner.com with your morning horn of Z's, your sip of chaga coffee. It's really hot coffee because it's really snowing outside. Steaming up my glasses. Yep, it is snowing in Albuquerque. We weren't prepared for the snow, but hey, it's beautiful. Oh, crazy beautiful here. Getting ready for the show on Saturday. Come by 2 to 6. From 2 o'clock to 6 o'clock, come by. It is located at, let's see here. I was just checking on the private road stuff. I'll get to that in a second, but it is at a place called the Salt Yard West on Ellison Drive. You can go to roadtoroota.com, click on Roadshow, and then click on Albuquerque, New Mexico. That is Saturday the 26th. Looking forward to it. It's our last show of the event, so it should be a hoot and holler. That's what I call it, a hoot and holler. Okay, I want to talk about silver. I want to talk about cryptos, but first, Evergrande has not gone away. Evergrande has not gone away. No matter how much the banking elite, the JP Morgans of the world, the investment funds of the world, the people who invested in real estate in general want to just blow it off like it's no big deal. It has not gone away. They haven't paid debts in, 6 months? The rating agencies are calling them to selective defaults. I don't know how they can get away with that without calling a default overall, other than they know that Evergrande will never go through the Western bankruptcy system. They're going to just renege on every contract they ever sign and drag it on, and we've seen that. Here's an article, and I have this on the timeline, shifted out about a month from, I had this going sideways at the end of the year, so shifted out about a month. We're looking at it going sideways at the end of the first quarter. Evergrande's hidden debt sinkhole just keeps growing. Months after Chinese developer ran into trouble, new debts keep coming to light. Worryingly, the problem isn't Evergrande's alone. This is part of the timeline. I said this problem is 10 times bigger, what they're saying. Everybody was cooking the books, building all these ghost cities. Everybody was cooking the books. Just like in the U.S., although in China, they didn't care. In the U.S., at least they tried to hide it, the Enron-style accounting. In China, they didn't care. That was their mission. Their mission was to create as much fiat money as possible, build your house, your roads, your bridges, and then crash everything. So we're looking at a massive default, not just Evergrande, but the entire global real estate sector, which is the largest sector in investing in the world. Let me give you a quick glimpse. I found this from September of 2021. It's about a year old, but the value of all the world's real estate reached $326 trillion in 2020. 326 trillion. So it's probably 330, 340 now. The largest of that is residential, which is 258 trillion. That's big. You take that and you add up all the other types of investment, and real estate by far blows them all away. Equities and debt securities and you name it, gold, real estate, commercial real estate's tiny compared to residential. That was always the plan. That's what Ruta wrote in the sand in that economic formula on the road to the golden age. Print money to infinity, and that's what they've been doing. But Evergrande is the linchpin. You want to know what's going to set off the derivative nightmare? The weapon of mass financial destruction? It's the Evergrande default. Let's see what's in the news today. There's a couple things. Evergrande's latest announcement is raising more questions about how much it really owes. Investors may not like the answers, especially since Chinese property developers' hidden debt problem isn't confined to Evergrande alone. The beleaguered Chinese developer said Tuesday that more than $2 billion in cash held by its separately listed property service unit has been seized by banks as security for third-party pledge guarantees. I'll guarantee you, seized by banks means Chinese banks. No way they would let JP Morgan seize anything. Both Evergrande and the unit won't be able to meet the deadline to publish their annual results before the end of March. There you have it. That's default time. They've already missed so many payments, and they missed the 30-day grace period. Evergrande won't say what those guarantees are for or when the bank sees the cash, but it is likely they are linked to the parent company. Lenders seem to be holding on to whatever assets they can still recoup from Evergrande. That would presumably leave even fewer assets remaining on the table for other creditors, such as offshore bondholders. This is going to go on with every single property management group in China. They're forgetting the old system. They're saying, no, we're not going to participate. That's your system. I don't care what contracts we sign. We are not subject to any laws outside of China. That, my friends, is the end of globalism. That's why Biden said what he did and did what he did about putting sanctions on Chinese rich people. This is all part of the game. And the game is to destroy fiat money. So hang on to your assets in your own possession only. Also this, red flags as some China property developers say they can't release earnings on time. A slew of Chinese real estate developers this week said they are either not able to release their financial results on time or have yet to set board meetings. Among them was troubled developer Evergrande that hit markets last year with a debt crisis. In a filing to Hong Kong Exchange on Tuesday, Evergrande said that due to drastic changes in its operational environment since the second half of 2021, its auditor added a large number of additional audit procedures this year. Basically, here's what happens. They hire auditors that are going to give them the audit they want, not to do their job. We saw the same thing with Arthur Andersen, who went down after Enron. All the accounting agencies, all the auditors are fraudulent criminals, just like these criminal banksters. And they get away with it because it keeps being allowed until something goes wrong. This has been set up as the biggest catastrophe in investment history, the real estate debacle. And it's the largest investment class asset, real estate, by far, by far. This is also what Ruta wrote in the sand. This is what the Banking Basics guidebook that came out with the Ruta documents at the Fed. They talked about two scenarios where banks crash. Number one was real estate. And we saw that in the U.S. with mortgage-backed securities. That was big, but it wasn't big enough. But we were literally hours away from everything imploding. This is the largest real estate market in the world and the largest asset type in the world. China has more real estate investments than the U.S. because they have more people, especially residential. So hang on to your hats. They're not filing anything for the third quarter, for the first quarter, and then the second quarter, it's kaput. Good night. China property giant Evergrande suspends trading, so their shares aren't even trading again. And again, the total value of real estate for the world is $326 trillion. Of that, $258 trillion is residential. You know, the funny thing is, I keep going back to Alan Greenspan's doctorate thesis, which I believe was called The Road to Ruta, The Road to Route A. When he wrote the original programs to rig the markets, there was an end game attached to this. That's why Ruta wrote that in the sand, the economic formula on the road to the golden age. That's from the 1960s when Alan Greenspan was writing these computer programs with John Kemeny to create the first electronic financial system and to create the market rigging programs that got implemented at the Fed under Arthur Burns, Greenspan's mentor. That's why Greenspan was put as the head of the Fed for so long. Hope this makes sense to everybody, but this is the end game. If you want to know what's going to happen, Cliff High had a great discussion, Dinner with Trump, I think it's called. Go check it out on BitChute. But it goes exactly back to the road to Ruta theory, that we're going to go back to gold and silver as money. Now, the road to Ruta theory, all that stuff was written before cryptos. So cryptos came on after that. And yes, I do think cryptos are a huge part of the future. I don't know how well they'll do during the transition, but a huge part of the future is the good cryptos. And I'll talk about a couple of them in a second. But right now, what you want in your hands is lots of silver, massive amounts of silver. Bank of America still has a problem. 6 trading days until the end of the quarter. 6 trading days to get that number from $25 down to, let's check out the moving averages. Here they are. 200-day moving average is about $23.94. 100-day moving average, $23.65. And then 50-day moving average, $24.11. So So basically, if they can get the price of silver below $24, then all the tech funds will dive in, go short, and they can cook the books for the third quarter. And that's by Wednesday, the 30th, is the last day of trading on the COMEX. Actually, probably be reporting will be going all the way to the next day, the 31st, because it's not necessarily the COMEX, which is the issue. It is the OCC data, and that's reported at the last day of the quarter. So it'll be 7 trading days to get the price down. Really interesting time for Bank of America, because at $25, they're going to have to look at it and say, oh my God, depending on how much they have left of their silver leases from Bank of America. Remember, they paid some back in December. I don't know how much they paid on the OTC market, but we did see a 25 million ounce repayment of JP Morgan in December on the COMEX. Hopefully I can figure out, kind of backtrack, if they paid 25 million, does that equate to 100 million in OTC derivatives? I should be able to backtrack that out. Maybe not, but maybe I can. So yeah, this game is just insane. It is absolutely insane. Get your assets in your own possession. Call or send an email to Andy Scheckman. His email is Andy, A-N-D-Y, at milesfranklin.com, milesfranklin.com, and get your silver now. Do not wait. If you have a local coin shop guy, go there and buy him out. Do not wait. Yes, the price of silver might get slammed below $23, but I'll bet you the premiums will not. My friend Will Lair said the wholesale premiums on Eagles are over $11 a coin. $11 a coin on a $25 silver price. That's insane. That is complete insanity. These criminal regulators, well, there's only one left starting on Thursday. One regulator at the CFTC, Rustin Binham. That's it, starting on Thursday. So it's looking to me like, yeah, end of the quarter is the end of the game. And we're just days away. I don't know how long it will take to end. My guess is through the rest of the year and beyond. And some people will not survive this. Have their entire life savings wiped out in a blink of an eye. Some people will thrive. If you're sitting on the sidelines outside of the market with your own assets in your own possession, physical silver is my number one pick. And then we got some cryptos. Let's look at Theta. That's my number one crypto pick. It's sitting at $3. It's going to $3,000. I don't care if it's $3, $30, 3 cents. I'm sitting on Theta. I'm staking it. I'm earning T-Fuel. I'm staking the T-Fuel. And earning more T-Fuel, and I'm staking the T-Drop. Without Theta, we don't have a future. Theta is the future of the internet. If you really stand back and look at it, because it's broadband sharing and we have a huge broadband problem. I see that Elon Musk has turned on the satellites above the Ukraine. This could be a real interesting lesson for Elon. And, if Putin doesn't like what he's doing, he'll just pop one of those satellites out of the sky and create space junk, taking out all the other satellites at the same low Earth orbit. It's insane. I mean, how come Elon doesn't see the obvious thing about just taking one of these satellites out, takes them all out? I don't know. Thought he was smarter than that, but it's in Cliff's data, by the way, that we have to spend years cleaning up space junk from all the satellites that got ping-ponged. I call it ping-pong because it's like when you set the mouse traps, the thousands of mouse traps, and you put a ping pong ball on each one, and then you drop one ball and they just start all going off. That's what the satellite situation will be like. Once one of those is taken out, they're all on the same low Earth orbit. Boom, there goes. I don't know how much he has. He was shooting for 44,000. I think there's 15, 20,000 maybe up there. But all the ones over the Ukraine, all it takes is popping one off to get them all. Maybe not. Maybe take 2 out. But if Elon Musk thinks he's going to piss off Russia without Putin doing anything about it, he's playing in the wrong game. Then again, I think Elon's working with the good guys, so who knows what's going on. So, yeah, keep an eye on that. Definitely get your Theta. Really interesting stuff with the Theta validator nodes. Again, just a couple weeks ago, they decreased the amount of validator node needed to stake from 2 million Theta down to 200,000 Theta, so we get more validators. Right now they capped it at 31, but they said they can go up to 100. They're trying to get it more decentralized. And you look at the validators, they're mostly Theta Labs, as you can see. Binance is obviously the monster in the room besides Theta Labs. How good or how bad is that? I don't know. Binance is so wealthy, it doesn't really matter. I think they're in on the project. I think deals have been struck that they can't sell it. Don't forget, they're earning all that T-fuel that they can sell and T-drop. Binance is unbelievably wealthy, by the way, and unbelievable market riggers, too. Whenever they want, they can run. I think they did it with Theta Fuel. Was it last year? Theta Fuel was like almost worthless, and they ran it up, and everybody got all excited, and then they let it fall again. Huge market riggers, Binance. But if you look at it, there's now 19. So we added 3 new validators with the new rules. I expect there to be 31 in the next couple months, and that's good for decentralization. It keeps the network strong, and then they can't collude together because we have the Guardian nodes to make sure they're doing the right job. It's really cool. So definitely get your Theta, T-Fuel, and T-Drop. I mean, I've been saying it since, the ICO, it wasn't an ICO. It first started trading at like 12 cents and went to 20 cents and then down to 5 cents. I've been screaming it ever since. This is gigantic. This is huge. This is the future of the internet. If you think we're going to need the internet in the future, you better have a bunch of Theta in your portfolio. In your own possession, please. Okay, the other guy, Reggie Middleton, he put out this tweet: our patents receive a new citation every 2.5 weeks, meaning that our intellectual property is base layer for much of the new crypto inventions submitted to patent offices. Exactly, yes. Reggie invented something that was foundational for everything in cryptos, just about. Whether or not he can backtrack in time because he got screwed by the SEC, because the SEC is bought and controlled just like the CFTC is. I don't know. I don't know if judges aren't lenient to Reggie at all, as you have seen many times in the past. So we'll see what happens, but definitely people are citing Reggie's invention when they file new patents. That's how, he got his patent approved. There's nothing more to say about that. Of course they're going to have to cite Reggie's patent because it's already there. Now that it's there on the books as of last December, I think everybody should take a second look. It'd be hard to be the first one to say, yeah, we're going to work with Reggie. But then again, the first one that does is going to get a better deal. If you ask me, I think the prime candidate is XRP. Reggie literally describes how to do crypto asset swaps or currency swaps in his patent, and that's exactly what XRP is doing. So that would be my guess, is the entity that, because you got Ripple behind it as well. That entity that Reggie will go after if he wants to prove himself in court, his patent IP in court. But remember, also, he has said he's going to give discounts to those 2 million remaining Veritasium holders out there. I think it's trading around $70. And there are a lot of Reggie Middleton lovers, including myself, and Veritasium holders that are very thankful that Reggie doesn't have to remember us, but we're fighting a good fight out there, and we're fighting for truth and honesty, whereas the criminal banksters are not. So Veri's trading around 64. It's very illiquid. If you went in to buy it on Market Talks or one of the swaps, you're going to jack the price up 10-20%, and then somebody will sell and it'll fall 10-20%. I'm just holding on for the moment the U.S. government comes to Reggie and said, oh my God, the stock market has crashed, the bond market has crashed because we've been rehypothecating everything. We need peer-to-peer transactions. Can you come in and help us? That's what was in Cliff's data. That's what I'm hanging on for, and that's the lottery ticket version of Veritasium. I do think ultimately the government will give Reggie his 98 million tokens back, and we're back in play. So I highly suggest everybody have some Veritasium in their portfolio as well. Remember, Veritasium's already been through the gauntlet. There's no double jeopardy. They already got busted for their ICO. Right or wrong, give me one reason why CoinMarketCap should have this red warning above Veritasium and no other token is beyond me. It's criminality by CoinMarketCap and the people who control MarketCap. CoinMarketCap, which is the digital currency group, they don't like Veritasium. They don't like Theta because they're criminals. They need to go to jail. That's the main holding company of the crypto cabal, as I call them. So we'll see what happens. Remember, Albuquerque on Saturday. Hope to see you there. I'll talk to you later.